Good morning students, welcome to All4C Learning. Students, yesterday we discussed about motion under gravity. Gravity is arised due to gravitational force. Gravitational force produces an acceleration of g on all objects near the surface of Earth. That acceleration is the motion under gravity. We divided the concept into four categories. First case is freely falling body, second case body projected vertically downwards, third case body projected vertically upwards, and fourth case body projected vertically upwards from top of tower. These are four cases. At present I am discussing first case, freely falling body. Freely falling body in the sense body released from rest from some height. Suppose it is a body, it is released from some height h. So how to write the equations of motion? As the body releases, it experiences an acceleration. That acceleration is called acceleration due to gravity. Here acceleration is gravity. As the body moves downwards, I am selecting this downward direction as my positive direction. Here is a freedom to select the positive axis and negative axis. At present motion is body is going downwards, so I am selecting downward direction as a positive direction. So by taking this as positive, this acceleration will be positive, and initial velocity of the body, this is 0. So we can write v is equal to u plus at. First we discuss how to change the equations of motion. Yesterday we discussed it. Once again I am repeating that concept. This equation v equal to u plus at is changed as v is equal to zt. This is our first equation for freely falling body. Next, our second equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square is changed as s is equal to half zt square, since u is equal to 0. Our third equation, v square minus u square is equal to 2s is changed as v is equal to, or v square is equal to 2s. This is our second equation, and this is our third equation. Or Sn is changed as Sn equal to u plus a into n minus of, here a is g, this is g. So our Sn is changed as g into n minus of. These are the four equations used in case of a body falling freely from a tower or from some height. So at present I am using this equation. Suppose it is a tower of a height some h. It is a tower of height h. A body is dropped from this tower. So it has an acceleration vertically downwards. Its acceleration is z. So what is the velocity of the body when it reaches the bottom of the tower? To find the velocity when it reaches the bottom, I am using this v square minus third equation. So velocity, first subdividing velocity at bottom. For this I am using v square is equal to 2gs, or s is equal to h. S is equal to h in the sense displacement of the body. As it falls down, it gains a displacement of h. So you can get v is equal to square root 2gh. So as the body falls down at bottom, it reaches with the velocity v is equal to square root 2gh. At bottom it gains a velocity v equal to square root 2gh. In the second case, suppose they are asking what is the time taken by the body to fall down. So here I am using s is equal to, for time of flight, this s is equal to half gt square can be used. Here you can get time. This time is, or s is equal to h. So I can write h is equal to half gt square. From this I can get time. This time is under root 2h by g. At the same time, what is the velocity gained by the body after t seconds? Velocity, to get the velocity after t seconds, you can use v is equal to gt. Or if you can get the velocity at the bottom, you can also calculate time. This time is also can be written as v by g. Okay. Generally, this case is not used. So these two are important: velocity at the bottom, second time of flight. These two are regularly used to solve the problems. Okay. Next, our second case is case 2. A body projected downwards. A body projected downwards from height, from certain height. A body projected vertically downwards. Body projected vertically downwards. Suppose if I project a body vertically downwards with some initial velocity u, under gravity it experiences an acceleration, that is g. Again I am selecting downward direction as a positive direction. In this case, how to write the equations or equations of motion? Our first equation here is v equal to u plus a. It is changed as v is equal to, it has initial velocity u and acceleration g into, here u is positive just for substitution, and this acceleration z is also positive. Z is also positive. So you have to write v equal to u plus at as u plus gt. U plus gt. This is our first equation for vertically projected body. Second equation, s is equal to ut plus half at square. It is changed as s is equal to ut plus half gt square. S is equal to ut plus half gt square. How to write this equation? V square minus v square equal to 2as in this case. It can be written as v square, this u is positive, so it is u square, that is equal to 2g into h or s. You can write it as s. Then you will get v, or you can write it as it is. Our fourth equation, Sn is u plus a into n minus 1. It can be changed as Sn is equal to u plus g into n minus 1. These are the four equations used in case of body projected vertically downwards from certain heights. Okay, suppose if I consider the previous case, suppose it is a tower of a height h. A body is projected vertically downwards with some initial velocity u. The body is projected with some initial velocity u. What is the time of flight? Time of flight, time taken by body to reach ground. Here I am projecting a body vertically downwards. If you want to calculate if you want to use the equations, you can follow the four equations. V equal to u plus gt, s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Similarly, v square is equal to u square plus 2gs, and Sn is equal to u plus g into n minus half. You can use those equations. Even though I am calculating the time of flight here, that is a separate case. So here body is projected, u here is u is positive, we already know, and acceleration g, and it is also positive. Why? Because our downward direction is taken as a positive, downward is positive. So then I am using h is equal to, or s is equal to, or h. So according to s is equal to ut plus half gt square, our second equation, s is here we are using s is equal to ut plus half gt square. Again I am using that equation, or s is equal to h. H is equal to ut plus half gt square. From this I can write it as half gt square plus ut minus h is equal to 0. Plus ut minus h is equal to 0. It is a quadratic equation in time. So to get the time, we have to write the solution this quadratic equation. So time is, this is like ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. So this t is minus b, that is minus u, plus or minus root of b square is nothing but u square, b square, b is u, so this is b square, minus 4ac, a is half g into c minus h whole by 2a. 2a into our a is half g. Friends, I am repeating once again. Here we have to find the time of flight of the body as it dropped from a tower or some certain heights. To find the time of flight, I am using u positive, acceleration z, s is equal to h, s is equal to ut plus half at square. In this s is equal to h, our ut remains same, half at square remains same. So by taking this half gt square plus ut, and taking h to the right side, I can get half gt square plus ut minus h. It is just like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. To find the time, I have to write the solution of the quadratic equation. So the time is minus u plus or minus root of b square. B square is b is u, so u square minus 4ac a half g c minus h by half g. This 2 gets cancelled and it is 2 times. So this time is, if you consider negative of the rate, total time will be negative. We always move in positive direction of time. I already told that point. So this time is minus u plus root of u square minus into minus plus 2gh by z. So from this we can get the time taken by the body to reach the ground. We can calculate time for a vertically projected body. If body is dropped freely, its time is a square root to h by g. We already calculated that one. Okay. Students, I will discuss some few small problems related to freely falling body. Suppose, for example, 1, body is released. Find the ratio of the distances traveled by the body in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and so on. If a body, this is the question, if a body falls freely, find the ratio of distances covered by the body in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and so on. For this, I am considering a body is falling freely, so it is started from rest. From here, its acceleration is g. It falls freely. So it is the solution. Its acceleration is c. In first second, at a t equal to 1 second, our equation we already know. They are asking the distance traveled in various seconds. So that is why I am using s is equal to half gt square. When t is equal to 1, s is equal to r. S at t equal to 1, that is equal to half g. If t is equal to 2 seconds, our s at t equal to 2 seconds is half z into 2 square. Half z into 2 square. This is the distance covered in 2 seconds. 2 gets cancelled. This is 2g. Distance covered in 3 seconds. S is equal to 3. T is equal to 3. This is half g into v square. So in this case, don't cancel this term. This is half g and this is square. Then suppose this is some s1, this is some s2, this is some s3, or s1 for t equal to 1 second is to s2, that is for t equal to 2 seconds, and s3 for t equal to 3 seconds. If you calculate the ratio, you will get half z is to 1 by 2 z into 2 square is to 1 by 2 z into 3 square, and so on. And so on. So then we can get S1 at a t equal to 1 second is to S2 at a t equal to 2 seconds, and S3 at t equal to 3 seconds, and so on. This is nothing but this half z gets cancelled in each term. Then you will get this is 1 is to 4 is to 9 is to, and so this is the time. Similarly, if they ask, my second question is find the ratio of distances traveled by the body in first second, second second, third second. If they ask you a question like that, note here ratio of distances traveled in first second, second second, third second, and so on. How to write that ratio? So S1, this is distance traveled in first second. This S1 is given by this is g into n minus half for nth second. We already know Sn is g into n minus half. For S1 n is equal to 1, then S1 is g into 1 minus half. That is g by 2. If n is equal to 2, then you will get S2, distance traveled in second. Here they asked distance traveled in 2 seconds, but here where they are asking distance traveled in second. That second is obtained by using g into n minus half. So this is g into 2 minus half, that is 3g by 2. Similarly, you can get, if n is equal to 3, you can get S3, that is g into 3 minus half. 3 minus half, that is 6 minus 1, 5z by 2. So if you can write S1 is 2, S2 is 2, S3, you will get z by 2 is 2, 3z by 2 is 2, 5z by 2, this and so on. This g by 2 gets cancelled. Then you can get the ratio S1 is to S1 is to S2 is to S3, that is equal to, and so on. And so on is equal to 1 is to 3 is to 5 is to, and so on. And the odd number ratio that gives the displacements in various individual seconds. Next I have one simple problem. That problem is here is a stone. It is released from rest. It falls freely. I have 2 points, point A and this is point B. This body released at a t equal to 0. It crosses point A at a t equal to t1. It crosses point B at t is equal to t. It crosses point A at a t equal to t1. It crosses point B at t equal to t2. Find the distance between A and B. This is our question. Our next example, third example. A freely falling body travels from A to B travels from A to B. It is at A at t is equal to t1 and at B at t is equal to t. Find the distance between A and this is our question. How to find the distance between A and B? How to find the distance between A and B? Here is the a stone that is dropped, body or stone, anything. This stone travels from A to B. It is at a t equal to t1, it is at A, and it is at a t equal to t2, it is at B. We have to find the distance between A and B. For this, I am using, it is a freely falling body, it is released from rest. So I can use S is equal to half gt square. Suppose this height is some h1, this height is some h1, and this height from here, this height is some h2. We have to find this h. So first I am using s as a time as t equal to t1. I am using time as t equal to t1, s is equal to h1. So you can write h1 is equal to half z t1 square. Similarly, at t equal to t2, s is equal to h2. Then you can write h is equal to half g t2 square. Half g t2 square, this is h2. And subtracting these two, you can get h is nothing but h2 minus h1. That gives the distance between A and B. So this h is half z t2 square minus half z t1 square. So this h is half z times of t2 square minus t1 square. This gives the distance between A and B. Okay students, I have two more problems here based on freely falling body. Our first problem, that is our fourth example, is a stone is dropped into a well of depth h. Find the time at which splash is heard. After what time the splash of this stone is heard? Suppose this is our well. It has a depth h. It has some depth h. It is a well. A stone is dropped from here. This stone falls freely under gravity. When it touches the ground, a splash is produced. From this sound travels from bottom to top. Thereafter, we can hear the sound. Right? So here two events are taken place. One, stone reaches the ground. Second, produced sound reaches to top, from bottom to top. Right? These two events, event 1 takes some t1 time, event 2 takes some t2 time. That is our total time. So here the time at which splash is heard. Suppose at t equal to 0, this stone is dropped. Total time taken by the total time for producing splash is some t. The t can be divided into two parts, t1 plus t2. What is t1? T1 is time taken by the stone to reach the bottom of the well. So this T1 for T1, I am using S is equal to half gt square. In this, S is equal to h, so h is equal to half g T1 square. This T1 is under root 2h by c. This T1 is under root 2h by c. Our second case is T2. For T2, this sound produces sound traveling against gravity. But sound, in case of sound, we do not consider the effect of gravity. So sound travels with a uniform speed. We do not use equations of motion in case of sound. Remember that one? Next, for T2, how to calculate T2? let v be the speed of sound. Speed of sound. V be speed of sound. Then this sound travels this h distance with a uniform speed. So then I can write time is equal to distance by speed. Time t2 equal to distance h by speed is v. So t is t1 plus t2. So our t is square root 2h by z plus t2 is h by v. H by v. Students, they may change, question may change. Someone may ask depth of the well, someone may ask speed of the sound. Okay, but this is the basic concept. Okay, once again I am repeating. Time taken is divided into two parts. First part is time taken by the stone to reach the bottom of the well. Second part is time taken by the produced sound to reach the top of the well. So this T1, time taken by the stone to reach the bottom, is obtained by taking S is equal to half gt square. From that you can get T, that is 2h by z. T2 is produced sound to reach the top. Neglect the time for producing sound. Okay, then you will get total time, that is T1 plus T2. Okay, this is one important problem in case of freely falling bodies. Next, students, I have one more example. A stone is dropped from a building. After traveling some time T1, it is stopped for a moment. For suppose a stone is dropped like this, it is stopped for a moment and then released. So then it takes T2 time to reach the ground. Find the time for free fall of this stone. So we have to find time, total time for freely falling. We have to find total time. That is, I am adding this total time. For this, first consider a rough diagram. Everywhere to solve any problem, you have to consider a rough diagram. That will give you a clear-cut idea which function we have to use. Suppose this is the building. From this, a stone is dropped. Suppose this is stone. After some time t1, suppose here is the time t equal to t0. From here to here, it takes t1 seconds. It takes t1 seconds. It is stopped here. Again, it comes to rest. From here to here, it takes t2 seconds. We have to find if stone is dropped from here, how much time it required to travel from top to bottom. We have to find that time. So the stone is dropped from here. It takes t1 seconds it travels for t1 seconds and then it stopped for a moment. So first, how to calculate this time? Suppose this is some h1. This is some h1. We can calculate this is some h1 and this is some h2. We clearly know that it is a freely falling body up to here, and the stone is stopped for a moment. From next moment, it is also again a freely falling body. So we have two freely falling body cases. So suppose this is A and this is B and bottom is C. For AB journey, I am using H1 S is equal to half gt square. It is a freely falling body. As the S is H1. H1 is half g t1 square. H1 is half g t1 square. Similarly, for BC journey is also a freely falling body case. So you can write this is also as half gt square. So, but here displacement is some h2. So this h2 is half g t2 square. And now you consider the third case, that is if stone is released from top and it is falls freely undisturbedly, then it takes time for AC journey. I am again using this S is equal to half gt square. This S is equal to here h, that is equal to half gt square. Students, total situation is divided into three cases. Case 1 A to B, case 2 B to C, case 3 A to C. So this is our equation 1 and this is our equation 2. and here it is our equation 3 on we already know that total distance AC that can be divided into AB plus BC. This total distance AC can be clearly written as AB plus BC. So this total distance H, that is AB H1 plus BC H2. So this H is nothing but half Z T square, that is equal to half Z T1 square plus half Z T2 square. Half Z T2 square. This half Z gets cancelled. You can get T square, that is equal to T1 square plus T2 square, or T is equal to root T1 square plus T2 square. Suppose if stone is again stopped for somewhere in the middle, then you can get T3. Then total time is root of T1 square plus T2 square plus T3 square and so on. Okay? Students, I have two more interesting problems here. Our first problem is water drops are falling freely from a building of height 16 meters. At regular intervals of time. These drops are falling at regular intervals of time. The first drop touches the ground when fifth drop released from the top. First drop touches the ground when fifth drop released from the top. Find the distance between second and third drops. Okay, suppose this is the situation. It is the top of the building. From here, water drops are falling. So this is the ground. Here is the fifth drop, and this is the first drop. First drop touches the ground when fifth drop just released. So in between we have second drop and third drop and fourth drop. Right? So we have to find distance between second drop and third. We have to find this distance. So this total journey of the drop is divided into 4 intervals. Here this is one interval. Why? Because drops are falling at regular intervals of time. This is one interval, and this is one interval, and this is one interval, and this is one interval. So total time is divided into 4 intervals. Okay. So first calculate the total time of journey. For total time, I am using this stone is falling freely, so I am using S is equal to half GT square. This S is 16 meters. This is equal to G by 2 into T square, or you can use T is equal to under root 2 into 16 by Z. Right? So from this we can calculate 4 under root 2 by Z. I am not calculating this one. If you calculate you will get some more calculations. No use of that. So first calculate your total time. The time interval between two successive drops, I am considering this as some delta, this as some delta, this as some delta, and this as some delta. So this time, total time is divided into 4 delta t's. So this t, this total time is divided into delta t, delta t, delta t, delta t. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 delta t's is total time. This is 4 into under root 2 by z is equal to 4 into delta. I am cancelling these 4's. You can get delta t. You can get delta t. Clearly, our delta t is under root 2 by z. So, how much time this second drop travels? Suppose this distance travelled by the second drop, I am calling this as S2, and distance travelled by third drop, some S3. How to calculate this S2? This S2 travels at time of 1 delta t, 2 delta t, 3 delta t's. So S2 is obtained for second drop. For second drop, this time is, or time I am calling this for second drop T2, that is 3 delta t. So its distance S2 is half z. Half z is for everywhere. Its body is falling freely. So this is 3 into delta t whole square. You can get S2. What is S2? S2 is half z into 3 into delta t under root 2 by z square. We can get this half g gets cancelled. This is 9 meters. Similarly, for third drop, I can write T3 time. I am calling in my convenient way. So this T3 is this third drop travels delta t, 2 delta t's. So 2 into delta t. So this S3 I can write it as half z into 2 delta t whole square. So this S3 is half z into 2 into under root 2 by z whole square. Again, this 2 by z gets cancelled. You will get 4 meters. This half g and root 2 by z term gets cancelled. Here also the term cancelled out. So S3 is 4 meters. So the distance between these two is some s. That s is given by S2 minus S3. That is 9 minus 4, that is 5 meters. 9 minus 4, that is 5 meters. Our next problem is a freely falling body covers half of the distance in the last second of its journey. Find the time of flight and the distance travelled by the body. Suppose this is the freely falling body. This distance is covered in nth second. In the nth second, this Sn can be written as half of the total journey. Suppose this is S. How to write the equation? From the question we have to derive one equation. On solving that you will get the answer. So our equation is Sn, distance travelled in nth second, is half of the total distance. So here time is n seconds. So Sn is, for freely falling bodies, Sn is g into m minus half. We already derived this one. I am using that equation. That is equal to half of half g n square. Why? Because our time of flight is n seconds. So this g gets cancelled. Taking LCM, you can get 2n minus 1 by 2 is equal to n square by 4. This 2 gets cancelled. You can get an equation n square. Here is n square. On multiplying these two on the left side, you can get n square minus 4n minus 2. That is plus 2 is equal to 0. It is a quadratic equation. On solving, you will get n. So for this, n is equal to minus b, that is 4 plus or minus root of b square minus 4 square minus 4ac 4a1 c2 whole by 2a1. So from this n is 4 plus this is 16 root 16 minus 8 by 2. On cancelling, you can get a time of flight of, time of flight, that n is 4 plus root 8 by 2, root 8 nothing but 2 root 2, 4 plus 2 root 2 by 2, by taking common 2 you can get 2 plus root 2 seconds is the time of flight. So what is the distance? The distance travelled by the body, that is s. The distance travelled by the body, s is equal to half g t square. That t is n, so half z into n, that is 2 plus root 2 whole square. This gives the distance travelled by the body. That is half z on squaring 4 plus 2 root 2 plus 4 plus 2 6. This is 10 by 2 5. 6 plus 2 into root 2 roughly 1.4, that is 2.8. 5 into 2.8 plus 2, nearly 8.8. 5 8s 44, 5 40 plus 4 40. So this distance travelled by the stone or body is 44 meters. Students, tomorrow we will discuss some more problems based on freely falling body. Thank you.